people get carpal tunnel, there's literally a tunnel. Your wrist makes a tunnel and it should be nice and curved. But what happens is because we do a lot of extension work where we bang our hand on a table, we use our hand as a hammer, it flattens out that curve. So I adjust them so that they're not flat. Now, wrists can be asymptomatic, meaning someone could come in to see me and have no symptoms of having wrist problems, but when I do check the indicators for adjusting the wrist, I need to adjust them. So I'm gonna show you the first indicator. So you have some bones in your wrist, and what I do is I take my finger and I come down here, and I should just be able to go slide over like I just did. Now this is his dominant hand, and typically you'll find in the people that have the dominant hand that the bone here, it's called the lunate, has dropped down. So if it's dropped this way, and there'll be a dip in there. But his does not have it on this side, despite the fact that this is his dominant hand. But when I look here, my hand, see how my hand just falls right into that hole? That means that that lunate bone has gone inferior. So we're gonna adjust it and correct it. But before we can do that, we have to adjust the other bones of the wrist that go up this way. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is just do a little bit of a traction, and then we're just gonna do a nice clip, and that's all it takes. And we'll do this on the triquetrum, try to say that word 2 times fast. There we go. Then I'm gonna flip his wrist over, and this is just gonna get his pull. Now, these adjustments don't create audibles, meaning you don't hear a big loud pop, and that's fine. And then what I want to do is just traction on the radius and ulna, and then I'm also going to adjust his thumb. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to place my hand here and gently just traction, and you heard the adjustment on that one. And then I just rub the carpals. See what happens when people get carpal tunnel, there's literally a tunnel. Your wrist makes a tunnel, and it should be like going through the Baltimore Tunnel, nice and curved. But what happens is because we do a lot of extension work where we bang our hand on a table, we use our hand as a hammer, it flattens out that curve, or typing on a keyboard. And it flattens out that curve, so instead of the bones being up like this, I'm exaggerating, they flatten out. So I adjust them so that they're not flat. So now I'm just gonna adjust the fingers. Sometimes you'll get a audible like that, and sometimes you won't. The goal is not necessarily to get the audible, it's more to just get the alignment in. Now I'm gonna recheck that indicator, and you'll notice that my hand, there's still a little bit of an indentation, but the hand just comes down and like that. I could also muscle test it. So hold your arm here. And I should have done this first. And I'm just gonna check the joint. And his arm is not weakening. So that's good. So now, once I adjust the wrist and the hand, or the fingers, I wanna now also adjust the elbow. So I'm gonna do 2 things. First of all, I'm gonna just muscle test. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing on that bone, and watch his arm. It goes weak. Now I'm gonna push on it in another direction, watch his arm. Strong, so it's telling me which way this bone needs to go. So I'm gonna adjust his elbow. So what I'm gonna do is just straighten it out. There we go. No problem. And look, nice and strong again. Now we'll test his other elbow. We didn't need to adjust the wrist, but actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna adjust the wrist. And that elbow does not need to be adjusted. Now, what I should have done right before, you see the meaty muscles here? This is where all the muscles that control your fingers. Just do this. And I don't know if you can see where all the muscles are moving? Right there? Those are the muscles that control his hand. So what I'll do is I'll do a quick cross-friction massage there, and it could be a bit tender, not to create pain, but that'll help to get the muscles to relax a little bit before the adjustment. Okay? So that is a wrist adjustment. If you're having any odd numbness or tingling in the hands, carpal tunnel, which is usually where you get the first 3 fingers going numb, If you have ulnar nerve entrapment, that's the last two fingers go numb. That's an indication that there's something out in the wrist, but it could also be out in the elbow, the shoulder, or even the neck. So we want to look at this whole dynamic because one can affect the other. And you never want to just adjust the wrist without adjusting the elbow, the shoulder, and the neck. So that is a demonstration of wrist adjustments. If you're having any of these issues, contact the office. I'd be happy to chat with you to see how I can best help you. Again, I'm Dr. Katie with the Health Improvement Center.